You just got a brand new PlayStation 5 and you want to make sure that you're getting the best out of your brand new system? This is the video that you've been waiting for. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. This video has been a long time in the making. We've been making PlayStation 5 videos on this channel since the beginning of the PlayStation 5. And we've learned a few things. We've even covered a lot of those things across the entire library of this channel. But you don't have time to watch all those videos and pick out all those little nuggets that I've been sharing over the years. So today I'm going to break it down for you. These are PlayStation 5 tips that all owners should review to make sure that you've done this yourself. But the new PlayStation 5 owner definitely wants to make sure to do the following things. Now, this is not a list. This isn't a step 1, step 2, step 3. These are in no particular order. They're just kind of, as I've taken notes here, the things that I want to talk about. So starting right at the very beginning, use the stand. Now, many of you guys are going to say, use the stand. That means put it in vertical orientation because that's what the stand is. No, your PlayStation 5 comes with these little pieces here. Now, this is a PlayStation 5 Pro with the add-on disk drive. So the stand legs are a little bit taller. So even if you're doing it in horizontal orientation, this will keep it stable, especially with the weird shapes. Now, they do sell a vertical stand as well that you can buy separately on most of the current model PlayStations. I would say do not get one of those stands and do not put it in vertical orientation. That brings me to point number 2. Lay your PlayStation 5 flat. We've covered this in depth in other videos. So if you're curious about the science behind it, if you're curious about how I even arrived at this conclusion, you can go and watch those videos, but I will save you 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes of research. Put your PlayStation 5 in the horizontal position for all gaming sessions. You will save your console and it will last a very long time. The next thing, get to know your DualSense controller. Now, this is not a DualSense per se. This is a Hex Phantom, which we will get to shortly. But the DualSense controller is a phenomenal piece of equipment that has a ton of new features that you want to experience to understand how great they are. What is the best way to do that? Play Astro's Playroom. It is the pack-in game. It comes with every single PlayStation 5 that has ever been sold. Yes, you can delete it if you want to save some storage space on your PlayStation 5, but play the game first. It will highlight all of the exciting new features that the DualSense controller has to offer, and you will actually become a Sony fanboy and sound like a raving lunatic to everyone who has never used a DualSense controller, I promise. Next, you want to mute your mic permanently. One of the features on the DualSense controller is there's a little hole right here that has a microphone. There's actually a little hole back here that also has a microphone. That is because the DualSense controller has a built-in microphone and it makes a great gimmick. You played Astro's Playroom because we just told you to, and while you're playing it, you discovered the built-in microphone and you thought, this is really awesome. The problem is, if the mic is enabled on the DualSense controller, they actually turn down the haptic feedback and they turn down the haptic triggers. So you're not getting the full effect because those motors actually interfere with the microphone. You're not going to use it. You're going to use a headset. So this microphone is totally useless. To turn off the microphone, you're going to go into the settings on the PlayStation 5, go to the sound tab, go to microphones, go to microphone status when logged in and say mute. And then it's off all the time and you will thank me later, I promise. Next, we want to understand the home button. Now, the home button on your PlayStation 4 would just take you back to the main screen. But the PlayStation 5, tapping the home button one time will actually just bring up a small bar on the bottom, which allows you to quickly access a lot of the settings that you want to without leaving the game. You can leave the game by going to the home option and then press that button, but it makes it a lot easier, but it is very different than what you're used to, and it will take a little bit of time to get used to. The home button also has a couple other tricks built in. You can actually double tap the home button to bring up some other menus that show you some recent news, some game media, and other cool features. You can long press the PS button, which would do a similar effect to what you're used to on the PlayStation 4, which would bring up the actual home screen right away. The next thing you're going to want to do is spend a little bit of time in the settings. There's a few things that you want to just set up right from the start so that you don't have to set it up every time. Most specifically, you want to go to your saved data and game app settings in your settings, and then go to game presets. In the game presets, you can set the default difficulty for the game. You can set the performance mode and resolution mode, and you can also set your first person, third person views and your subtitles and all of that. Now, a quick discussion about performance mode and resolution mode. Most people, according to Sony, use performance mode. My recommendation is actually to default to performance mode, especially if you're playing like competitive games. But if you're playing the experiential games, those are the story mode games where you have all of your adaptive triggers and your haptic feedback and all of those turned on, you might want to consider going to graphics mode, because then you're going to get the best experience possible. If you want the truly best experience, then hopefully you got a PlayStation 5 Pro. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the price, but honestly, this gives you the best of everything. It gives you all of those graphics without sacrificing the frame rate. But if you have a regular PlayStation 5, in story-based games, you can certainly get away with having it in graphics mode as well. You'll have little dips sometimes, but at least you get all of the beauty that the PlayStation 5 has to offer. Now, this one's not quite as obvious. The PlayStation 5 actually saves your trophies to the system. So if you're worried about the storage capacity, and many people are, every time you earn a trophy, the system will save a snapshot of you earning that trophy. I want to tell you this so that you know that it happens. Many people actually want to save a video clip of them earning that trophy. It's a fun thing to do. So don't just turn it off. But if you don't care about the trophies and the video of you earning that trophy, you can go into the settings and turn off automatically save trophies. So that way you can save a lot of storage. Many users who have discovered this secret have saved over 40 gigabytes of storage on their system just by deleting the saved trophies. If you're watching this video and you've had your system for a long time and you have not turned off autosave trophies, I bet you have a ton of space that is waiting to be unlocked by deleting those old trophies. The next thing is also more of information than anything, and it could be great and it could be bad. Similar to those of you who have an Android or an iPhone, you have the ability to get usage statistics where they'll tell you how much you used your phone in a week, how much screen time did you have, how much time was it off, all of those things to help you monitor and change your behaviors. Well, the PlayStation 5 is no different. It actually logs all of your playtime on what games and also your stats, your trophies, your achievements, and all of that stuff. If you're curious about that, all you have to do is go to your profile and then go to the Games tab, and it will list out all of the games. It'll tell you how much time you spent playing each of those games. Be warned, this can be a scary stat to check. You might realize that your mom was actually right and you are totally wasting your life playing video games. So I caution you against checking this, but if you want to, it is there. I know your system is new. It's new to you and you're not thinking about this at all, but the faceplates on the PlayStation 5 are actually removable, and it's like that on purpose so that you can clean it easily. Now, this is a PlayStation 5 Pro. It's been used very little since I've got it, and if we pop these faceplates off, we can see just how clean this is. It's already a little bit dusty. You need to know that these pop off and you have access to clean your system easily. The fan can actually blow out. There's even on the Pro, there's little notches here that allow you to get in there and vacuum out a lot of the fins in here and everything to keep it nice and cool. You remember when we talked about laying it horizontal to keep it nice and cool and not overheat? Well, keeping it clean is equally as important. If you use your PlayStation 5 around pets, around dusty environments or dirty environments, you're gonna wanna have a healthy schedule of cleaning your PlayStation 5. If it's not as dusty or not as dirty, and especially if you don't have any pets, you could probably get away with cleaning it every 6 months to a year, but you definitely don't wanna forget, because as it gets clogged, it will overheat and you will have problems. The PlayStation 5 does have the ability to adjust the clock speed of the system to keep the heat within acceptable range. So you actually will hurt performance if it gets too dirty, and you might not know. You might just be like, suddenly this game seems to be playing a little bit more choppy. The frame rates don't seem as good. You might even be tempted to say, PlayStation sucks. This thing has such bad performance. I remember it being better than this. It probably was better than this, and it's filthy and you need to clean it out. Worried about spoilers? Sony's got your back. In that same game settings section in the settings where you can go to spoilers and you can say, do not show me spoilers or warn me about spoilers. And a little pop-up will come up that says, warning, spoilers are in this trailer, in this preview, in this whatever, so that you don't accidentally get a pivotal moment in the game ruined by watching a trailer by accident. Those of you who did just get a PlayStation 5 and you're coming from PlayStation 4, there is a transfer utility where you can transfer all of the content from your PlayStation 4 over to your PlayStation 5. It is found in the system settings under Settings, System, System Software, and then look for Data Transfer. Now you do need to turn your PlayStation 4 on as well. It will walk you through everything that you need to do to make that transfer happen. It uses your local Wi-Fi or hardwired connection. So both will have to be on and connected to the Wi-Fi in your house for the transfer to happen. And depending on how much you have on your PlayStation 4, it could take a little bit of time. Now you don't have to do this setting. If you have an active PS Plus membership, most of your save games are on the cloud anyway. And in my case, when I turned on my PlayStation 5, I logged into my account and it pulled all my games down without doing the transfer. But many people have asked, can I do the transfer? Yes, you can. Boost your PlayStation 4 games. Yes, the PlayStation 5 is actually more like a PlayStation 4 Pro version 2. So it can actually take PlayStation 4 games and boost the performance and boost the graphics a little bit more than even the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now this is a setting that you don't even have to turn on. It will just work, but one thing you will need to do is make sure that your games are all updated. Many of your PlayStation 4 games actually have a PlayStation 5 patch that will need to be updated once you have them on your PlayStation 5. So make sure that you go in, make sure that your game has been updated, and you can also check the settings to make sure that it is running in that PS4 Boost mode. Again, this is more of like a power user setting, but you're gonna want to adjust your power saving settings. So by default, the PlayStation 5 has some pretty aggressive power saving, including turning off the USB ports after a certain amount of time. If you're like me, I always want my DualSense controller fully charged and my wireless headphones fully charged. So go into the settings, go into the power saving, adjust the power setting profile to match what you're looking for. I'm not gonna tell you what I do or what's best or whatever, because what's best for me is maybe not what's best for you. So just know that they're there and go through and adjust them. And the final thing is peripherals. There are a ton of extra peripherals available for the PlayStation 5 Fat, Slim, and Pro. And I'm not gonna get into which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones do I recommend, but I will say this. There have been some huge advancements in the offerings for controllers, especially for controllers. Now, I am really excited about the DualSense controller. I did play Astro's Playroom and I love the features. In fact, that's what sets the PlayStation 5 apart from all the other consoles. That's all of the features that are available to the DualSense controller. Now, many of you might be tempted to go and get a Pro controller that will add clicky triggers, that will remove the rumble, so the gameplay is more competitive. But that's at the cost of the experience. So you want some way to have both. And that's where my favorite controller, the Hex Phantom, comes in. This controller combines the best of both worlds. It starts out as a DualSense controller. It has all the same features. It has the adaptive triggers. It has the proper rumble effects. It has everything that you've come to expect from the DualSense and learned to love while you're playing Astro's Playroom. But when it's time to play those competitive games, there's little sliders here. You flip that slider over, and this is now an actual short throw micro clicky trigger. These are the shortest throw clicky triggers that they have on the market. You can turn off the haptic feedback, and you even get multi-adjustable height thumbsticks. So you can have one thumbstick type for your experiential adventure games, and then your offset thumbsticks for your first-person shooter games with your clicky triggers. This controller plays both equally well. It also has back buttons, which are customizable to suit your game, but there's also profiles that you can save depending on which game you're playing. So you can toggle quickly between your experiential game and your competitive game. If you're looking for the best bang for your buck, the Hex Phantom is the controller that you're looking for. If you're not sure or you don't believe me, I have a number of videos that break down all of the controllers that I have, and I've tried them all. This is currently the best bang for your buck. Those of you who are DIY savvy, Extreme Rate has a really great new kit that is the Rise 4 Plus Max. That lets you build your own Hex Phantom basically from a DualSense controller. It is an extremely cost-effective option, but it does require you to build it yourself, whereas the Hex Phantom comes pre-packaged like that. And finally, headphones. What headphones do you recommend? Well, for me, personally, I love my Astro A50s. I use these with the Dolby surround sound option with an optical connector, which does work if you have a TV that has an optical line out. So I have shown in different videos how to connect up your PlayStation 5 with the full surround sound optical line out option, and it still works really great. For those of you who want the no fuss solution, the SteelSeries offer some exceptional headphones. They use a dongle that connects to the PlayStation 5, and they unlock the Tempest audio option. Now for me, I'm not really loving the Tempest audio option. So these ones are the ones my wife uses with her PlayStation 5 because she doesn't really notice the difference. But for competitive games, I do find that the surround sound still works better than the Tempest audio. You can have your choice, decide which one's best. In fact, the Astros also work with the Tempest audio option, and you don't need to use the optical cable. I just like how these things fit on my head. They're comfortable. I like them. But it's about time for Astro to release an upgraded model because they've had this series for quite a while now, and these ones are actually PlayStation 4 branded ones that work just fine with my PlayStation 5. When it comes to SteelSeries, they have a number of options available, and you can pick the one that suits you best. This is the SteelSeries, which works really, really well. And that is a quick walkthrough of everything that you need to know about your brand new PlayStation 5. I hope this helped you out. If you have questions, be sure to comment down below because I do answer a lot of those questions directly in the comments. And if there's enough questions, I'll make another video to walk you through it. But keep in mind, a lot of what we've broke down in this video is actually already covered in length per topic on this channel already. So if you want to know more about it, chances are there's a full video that explains in a lot more detail than what we were able to cover in this video today. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.